Michael Irvin on these Cowboys, quote, "They have lost talent. They're not a better team talent-wise. But this game doesn't require skill. It requires will. If a team loses a little bit of skill but gains greater will, they can still do great things. If the Cowboys can take the disappointment of that defeat against San Fran, if they can take that and internalize it in the offseason and come with less skill and more will, you can have a better season." He said, "You have to overcome it with will and togetherness. A man's greatest promise comes from their greatest pain." You can tell these are Michael quotes. If they felt the pain like we felt and like those fans, I want to see on them jokers on the field cry like that. I want it to hurt them like that, but I haven't seen that. I hope they cry like karate men?
Hiya?
What is that? I didn't understand that reference. I hope they cry like karate men on the inside, but I haven't seen it on the outside.
Oh, when you try to smash a brick, you have to be crying on the inside with the pain, but you show nothing.
Oh, okay, I get it.
To be, right?
I get it. Okay. I don't know.
Is that a wild guess?
Yeah, it's a wild guess.
Okay.
That's a good guess. That's a good guess.
I have nothing else. Maybe Mike is listening and he can explain it. I hope they cry like karate men.
Yeah, call in Michael's son.
On the So that's Michael Irvin with his take on the Cowboys right now.
Well, I hope he's not listening. Because this is the most ludicrous thing I've ever heard him say.
Luda.
Now listen, I get it. You want to have will, you want to have togetherness, but I will take skill over will. 10 times out of 10, right? Give me the talent over the experience. Give me the skill. I want talent. I don't want try-hard guys. I want, try-hard guys I think are great from September to January. When you get to January, man, I want skill. Give me the best players. Joe Burrow didn't make the Super Bowl with the Bengals because of, he had a will to win. He made it because he's Joe Burrow. Matt Stafford's, the number one pick in the draft. I don't know. The Rams, I don't know. I think, to me personally, I want skill. Skill over will.
Well, I don't think he's saying he doesn't want skill, but I think he's saying you can make up for a little bit of what you've lost. Are the Dallas Cowboys like missing something in their locker room or internally? It's obviously impossible to answer. We're not in there, but there are many instances and examples you can point to where it felt like the San Francisco 49ers were not more talented than this team. But it felt like they were tougher. And it felt like they had no fear coming in here and beating the Cowboys up. And that's what happened. And I think that's some of what Michael is alluding to. And I also think, I know Michael and Emmett had a problem and have a problem in the big time moments. If your big time players don't step up, that's the old phrase, right? That's the old saying. Big time players step up, and big time moments are some form of that. And maybe Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones took that to heart. If we're in the playoffs and I am not getting a baller staple performance from Dak Prescott, from Amari Cooper, from, I don't want to say Randy Gregory because they tried to re-sign Randy, then maybe that means they're not as big time as we thought. I don't know. The thing I want to get to the bottom of in this offseason is if there was any change in philosophy from Steven. Steven's always been frugal.
Yeah.
They've always been very tight. I want to know if he decided that this core really wasn't good enough. Because that's what we were saying throughout the rest of the playoffs. We were saying, man, watching these other playoff teams, the Cowboys aren't really close to a lot of these teams. And maybe I want to know if that hit, if Stephen Jones thought that, and that hit him harder with this offseason.
Yeah, but if you're not really close, does that mean you want to get further away?
Well, sometimes you gotta rip a page out, take a step backwards, which we never again see. We're so conditioned
around here. We are at least.
We're so conditioned to never taking a step back, ever. It's not Jerry Jones' nature, right? Every year. Let's be mentioned as a Super Bowl contender. Let's win the offseason. Let's be mentioned in the top 5 teams with hype. And for the first time in 11 years covering this team, The opposite has happened, and none of us know how to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
We're all freaking out. We're all losing our minds because they might be taking a step backwards, and we're just not used to it, even though we're all saying after the Niner game, this team isn't knocking on the doorstep of a championship, and maybe the Cowboys up top realized it, which I would like to applaud them for and give credit for.
If they realize that they're not ready to win a championship, that's fine. Like I think that is tremendous. But again, I also think that isn't that a bit of an overreaction? They just did go 12-5, and
which they know is inflated against the East.
Sure,
and I'm glad that they know it's inflated again. If they think that way, let's just be real about it.
Yeah,
I would like them to be real.
That's true. But again, we talked about this. Look at the other divisions. Is Green Bay's record inflated? Tampa had no other team in their division with a winning record. Was that the Titans do this? Are the same kind of way. Now, yes, the Titans division is inflated. So like, do we ding Green Bay?
I know, but this is every year.
For
God's sake, it's 17 damn years.
Is it not every year?
Division.
Is it not every year with Green Bay? Minnesota's. I mean, when was the last time they made the playoffs? 4 years ago.
But they at least get to the conference title games. We don't have the same
better.
level of success.
You're right. We don't.
They win some playoff games.
Yeah, they do.
They
do. I guess not this year. They didn't. But last couple of seasons they made the conference title game and they won that. They got one playoff game and then they're
one step away from the Super Bowl normally in the past few years.
Yeah, and they've been the 1 seed. They've got that home game, which is good. It's a tough place to play. We got a home game this year. Should have won it. Didn't. Ran into a hot team,
and they got outplayed in the game. The Cowboys didn't deserve to win.
No, they did not. They did not deserve to win that game.
No doubt. So then Emmitt Smith, this is from sportscasting.com, was asked, why haven't the Cowboys done more the last 25 years? And he said, well, the number one reason is he doesn't have us playing. The other reason is the team hasn't gelled or created the momentum it needed to build upon to go out there and position themselves. It's never talent missing with the Cowboys. It's always been an execution thing, making the plays when you need to and not beating yourself. Sometimes we have the tendency to take things for granted because we're so talented. And when you're talented, you think your talent can overcome a lot of different things. And I know this is going to generate an RJ Choppy eye roll. But the game of football, Emmitt says, more than just talent, it's 10% physical and 90% mental. I'm going to say that again from number 22. 10% physical and 90% mental. I don't think our team has understood the mental aspects of the game except for what's required and the timeline with the mental focus during some regular season runs. So Emmitt with a little bit, and he called them out at the Super Bowl on Radio Row for like the stupid penalties and the mistakes and just the little extra things that we normally are not harping on with, a Bill Belichick type team. So that's Emmitt. That's 22-88 on the Cowboys. There's absolutely a mental aspect to the game. I don't know if it's 10% versus 90%, but the mental aspect of sports. There's a reason these guys hire mental coaches, and it especially happens in like individual sports. You'll see a lot of tennis players, golfers with mental coaches. Having to deal with being out there on an island. Yeah, and I wonder how practicing scenarios and things that come up that are weird during games. I wonder how much the Cowboys and Mike McCarthy focus on those aspects and really practice them. It sounded sloppy in terms of the explanation on that Dak Prescott 4th down run, and it was like, do they practice these things a ton? Like, were they prepared for that moment? We still don't. If you took a poll in the Cowboys locker room on whether you're supposed to hand the ball to the official or not, we would still come up with split answers. Like every former NFL player had one answer to that, and Dak and McCarthy, they have different answers. So it's like, why aren't we on the same page at least in terms of those things? So flags, penalties at the wrong times, these are things that Emmitt Smith talking about.
Yeah, that was look, you go back to that. That was a weird play, man. It really was. And I'll bet you If you had another officiating crew, maybe they do it the same way. Maybe they do it a different way. Maybe they just touch the ball instead of moving it. The moving it back is what cost the Cowboys when it moved back. In that Rams game against the Bucs, the downfield official is the one that spotted the ball because it was so far down the field.